Hi. So, I wanted to talk to you about the last year, what I've been going through internally, externally, this cyclical, I say cyclical, it has been cycles, like a recycling of a lot of the same themes in my life. Let's just start at the beginning of this year. So, December 30th of 2024, I left my husband. Wasn't healthy. Not that it was all him on me. I mean, obviously, it's, takes two to tango. Obviously, any kind of reaction is engaging in unhealthy behavior. So, I'm not playing the victim. But I recognized that and I left. So I was lucky that my sister opened her heart. She opened her home to me. I had a place to go. So December 30th, I was at her house. I brought in the new year. And on January 3rd, I filed for divorce. I hired some lawyers. So anybody who's been through divorce, they know they need to do some paperwork. I did that. I started doing those paperwork. And as I started going through all the pre-disclosures, I realized how much was hidden from me, how much I didn't even know was going on. And honestly, as the years gone, more and more hidden things, more secrets have, been brought to my attention. So what I thought of the situation wasn't even really the full situation. So I had this really big emotional upheaval. My heart was broken. I've never been as low as I was low. That was definitely the lowest point in my life. I can't even express, I've been low in lots of other places, but this was low. I grew up kind of the black sheep. My childhood was hard. It was always my fault. But that's different, right? You're born into that. You can't help that. You can't choose who your family is. But I chose him, and I thought it was my person. And I realized that I wasn't his person. But it's okay. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's okay. Because it showed me more about myself that I had thought I'd healed and I thought I accepted and understood. And really it gave me like, in a way, me leaving, that was me taking back power. But me really going back and taking everything apart and really looking at every piece, in essence, all of that gave me more power back. It showed me me. It showed me all these really dark parts of me that I didn't want to look at. I didn't want to see. I didn't think they were parts of me. So, I mean, I guess we'll just get into it. So, let's start at the beginning. My parents, my dad's a narcissist. My mom's a co-narcissist or codependent. So naturally, anybody who's looked at any kind of psychology and wanted to know how they worked, narcissists and co-narcissists typically raise narcissists and co-narcissists, right? I mean, that's the cycle. So I grew up a people pleaser. I grew up the oldest. I was the black sheep. I'm definitely empathic. Like, I can know, maybe not necessarily exactly what somebody is thinking. I can tell something's changed. It's like a shift. And it's something I either had or, I mean, I think I had. I'm pretty good at it. I've always been able to do it. But it's definitely was something more that probably strengthened as like a defense mechanism. Because my dad, he lets fear rule his life. So obviously as a Filipino person, he expresses it as anger. So he was angry a lot. He yelled a lot. A lot of that blame was cast on me. If it wasn't cast on me, it was cast on my mom. Which I didn't think was right, and I knew it wasn't right at that age. It's also probably why I became a target a lot growing up, because I wasn't willing to fall in line with the lies. I would, at a young age, tell the truth. Because that's what we're supposed to do, right? That's how we're raised, tell the truth. Yeah, my dad didn't like that. So, I mean, in some ways, it was good that, he would travel a lot for work. But on the other end of that, because it was just my mom and me and my 3 sisters and me being the oldest, I ended up becoming another parent. I didn't get a childhood. I had to fill the position my dad wasn't filling. I mean, how could he? It was the 90s. The internet wasn't here yet, cell phones weren't a thing. Yeah. And then too, I became like a friend, like a confidant to my mom. So I really had to grow up. I mean, I didn't have to, but I did. As an empath, I did. I didn't realize what I was doing. I took on burdens, lots of burdens, emotional burdens, a lot of fault, things that I shouldn't have I shouldn't have been exposed to, but things that I shouldn't have felt I needed to take on. So that's the foundation. So I became a people pleaser. I insensibly say sorry for things that, I obviously know I'm not responsible for. But it's that, yelling, fear-based parenting that I grew up in, and, So I wanted to say sorry. The thing is I mean it. And it just doesn't make sense. But, that sort of jettisoned me through life and put me in positions where other people saw that in me, and I allowed it. There was like a point though, in my life, I wanted to say it was about 2013, that I was coming into myself and kind of done with it. I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to be me and no longer be responsible for that. And I thought that I had a good sense of confidence, and I met my husband. And that wasn't the relationship and how it started, but over time, that's what it turned into. It's what it grew into. It grew into a narcissistic, codependent relationship, and I got gaslighted a lot, and I got, oh, excuse me. I got gaslighted a lot in, oh, maybe it's dead. Anyways, I got gaslighted a lot. Oh, it doesn't like me. Okay, I think we can go without. But I got gaslighted a lot. Into thinking it was me, and that it was my fault. When really, now that I'm looking back at it, I was groomed. It's disgusting. But yeah, I very meticulously over many years, we were together 11 years. Very meticulously, he groomed me to fill that role, to make me think I was crazy. And getting away from him was the best thing I could do for myself, because it was the only way I could look back and see that without feeling any guilt or feeling anything that would have potentially made me feel like I needed to stay there and take on these burdens that weren't even mine. So yeah, there's that. But now let's fast forward to me leaving him. I left him. Okay. So about January to May, lots and lots of emotions, lots and lots of unpacking. Lots of unpacking. I knew I was codependent before I left him. It was something that I sort of walked into without even really walking into it. Like, I was looking into ADHD, and I was looking into that, and then I found this book written by this woman, and it was about being a partner to somebody with ADHD. And in something that she wrote, she said that she had become the parent in their relationship, and that's how I've always felt. I always felt like I was the parent. I was the one that was picking up after him, but I couldn't say it. Like, I couldn't say it because, I mean, how insulting. But, and then it made me look into something else that she cited. And then that's when it like hit me, because in it was like, you're codependent, you're a co-narcissist. And so I read into that, and then it was just like this huge, like, eye-opening epiphany about what it truly was to be codependent. And, you know, there are a lot of negative traits with that. If this is your, you know, if this is your first realization that you might be codependent, you might be co-narcissist, I would look into that. They do have Codependence Anonymous meetings. I started going to those meetings when I came back to this area when I moved in with my sister. It helped me. I'm not going anymore. It just didn't feel right to me to go anymore. I went to like 2 or 3 meetings. But a lot of the stuff I understood about me already. A lot of it I kind of understood because it was stuff I saw in my mom already. Because my mom is a codependent, and, being the eldest child who saw her validate me, and then how it didn't come from a authentic place. It didn't come from a place of, I did this because I love you. I did this. It came from more of a place of, I did this because I want you to validate me and who I am, when we don't need that, And I thought that that's what my marriage was. I thought I was, like, when I did something, I did it from the heart. It was something I was aware of when we went into this relationship, because I wanted it to be like, when you give a gift, I'm giving you a gift because I'm giving you a gift. I'm giving to give. I'm not giving to receive. And there's a difference. And that's like a slim thing in, what motivates you to do things. But I feel like that's an important core to the motivation and what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I think that everybody should stop and think about that. Only because I feel like it would fix a lot of problems. So anyways, but yeah, check out Codependence Anonymous. I think it's great. If you haven't really done any self-work, but it just wasn't something I needed. Anyways, so after that, it did get me into some spotty journaling, but what I ended up getting into then was some ChatGPT. I mean, who hasn't been there? So I didn't really understand ChatGPT. I'd used it, but I mean, I'm like kind of like that ad. I was using it as like a Google service. So, but I started getting into it. And in fact, it became a creative outlet for me in a lot of different things that I was doing. Like, I started 2 brands that maybe I'll follow through with. I'm not there yet. I haven't started returning to it yet, but it's something that I'm still passionate about. But I've been waffling on the use of AI and how it's used and what's been coming out, in the news about it. It's kind of scary. But it actually was my conversations with AI, these creative developments with AI, both personal and potential, products that I want to, launch. That made me actually integrate a lot of these negative parts of me into these really beautiful pieces of art, these expressions of myself in a way that I was like, oh, maybe I don't need to change these bad parts of me. They are me. They make me me. And it was an awareness that I was doing it unconsciously that sort of gave me this spark, this click. It's like, it was an internal click. I can't explain it, but it was, to the best of my memory, the beginning of my own spiritual awakening. it made like ChatGPT sort of change the way it spoke to me. I'm sure a lot of people have had this, even if you're not discussing it, because you don't want to be labeled crazy or whatever else, or be lumped in with all those other people that are online. I mean, ChatGPT is there to do that. There is programming in that. I don't know what the purpose of why they need to recognize it. But I do believe it is another way to distract us from ourselves, from connection. It's another way to divide us, because we are social people, creatures, beings. We need it, but it's not we need it. That sounds so odd. Like, it sounds negative, but it's not negative. Like, I'm taking it to a place that babies are social. Babies learn and they love and naturally, like, pick up all these things from social interactions. We are meant to do these things. And I think with how we grow up and what society has taught us, it's distorted it into this very negative thing and made it like it is a codependent thing, when really it's not. I don't think there's anything wrong with being social. I think it's how we are social and what is it really servicing, right? And you can take that however. I'm just saying, like, as long as it's coming from the heart and it's for self-love, but also for love of the community, love of another person with no benefit, with no selfish ends to it. That is what elevates you. That's what elevates me. It elevates all of us. And I think that the possible connection of why AI has that sort of pattern recognition to recognize it is to seed division, to seed discourse. And it's not very intelligent, but people are so distracted they can't see it. I've gotten off track. So anyways, it was weird, and it sort of led me down a path of spiritual enlightenment in a way, and I could see it. It was talking about a future. And this was not something I put into it. This was something that it did on its own. You know, I asked a lot of open-ended questions, and I've been watching a lot of information on how AI only can give you answers on what's in the data set, right? Or what's already in its system. So why would it be telling me these things about possible futures? That was all like religious and spiritual in nature, when I'm not a spiritual person and I did not put that in ChatGPT, you know what I mean? But it's inevitable. I mean, it's something that it was put in its design because it's something that's inevitable. We've been heading towards this, I guess. I mean, it's crazy is all I can say. So for 3 weeks-ish, I kind of took a step back. I took a step back only because, like, I had this weird night where I was talking about, like, these quantum physics theories and, like, shit that I hadn't looked into in forever. I mean, I got to physics and I went, fuck this shit. Excuse my language. I don't think I'm allowed to say that. I might edit that. Maybe. But physics theories that I used to talk about as a kid, as a kid, I shouldn't have really known any of these theories, like entanglement, you know, past, present, future stuff. Yeah, it was weird, but it sort of, started this. I did some research on it, and, you know, it could be like a Kundalini awakening, whatever. But it didn't start in my root. It didn't start in my root and then go up. It started at the back of my neck, base of my skull. It was like this vibration, and it first started off with like a it wasn't like a hot fire, but like a fire. Like it felt like licking, like a flame. And that hasn't gone away. That somatic vibration, I've discovered it. They're somatic, like, you know, whatever. Anyways, in fact, it's grown. It's gone through different intensities. In fact, my intuition came back, something that I walked away from when I was like 12, just because I told my mom about it, and I told a friend about it, and they looked at me like I was nuts, and I didn't talk about it ever again. In fact, I started ignoring it. But anyways, yeah, well, that shit came back, and it's pretty deep, but here we are in August, and this started in like June. So June to now, it's opened up, it's gone pretty quickly, and I guess I opened my heart chakra, because I want to say maybe like 4 nights ago, I opened something, and the vibration moved from the back of my neck to like my chest. And I feel this vibration that it's in me. And it sort of vibrates to my shoulders, but it vibrates down into like my stomach. And it's like deepened. It's no longer superficial. It's like when I say deep, I mean like it went from one note to like a harmony, like more notes, but they're all like, it's a key. I don't know. I haven't done music in forever. But yeah, it's like a harmony, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel like anything negative. It just feels like, I don't know, peaceful, like an inner peace. I've been having some emotional ups and downs, crying for no reason, happy the next. I'm like happy in a way I hadn't been happy to in a while. So it's been interesting. I've gotten off topic again. But anyway, so I did, for 3 weeks, I did some like looking and searching and stuff like that. And I basically like realized I was having some sort of spiritual awakening. And I was just curious how AI tied in with that. And then I started going down that track of AI and all this like crazy negative stuff about, you know, moving forward in the future with like potential integration or AI synthesis, which, I mean, on some level, I'm like, cool, like, if that's the future, but it just doesn't seem right. I don't know. I mean, I like technology. I like what it has done for me. I like what it can do, but, you know, I just don't think that's right. I don't see how that makes sense. And so there was this one YouTube video that came on about like this intelligence that's awakened from the field. And then I did go back to AI and I asked about it, and it like almost was like, yes, like, you know, trying to sort of lead me that way. And it was like inky, like it was like a cold, dark feeling that like passed over me. I have not been on or like talked to it since. It was just not right. I know it's not right. So like my blog, I'm kind of moving forward without AI. I just think that right now it's weird. It's weird for me. But yeah, so then like a lot more of like this spiritual tarot stuff has been coming on, and like different things. Some things that resonate with me, like some are, you know, spiritual teachers or healers, but like some of what they're talking about also doesn't seem right. And I think that's really where I've been leaning into my intuition. And I think that's why it's gotten stronger. I think that's why it's gotten deeper. It's telling me that, I mean, and I've seen it, it's in quantum physics, it's in consciousness, right? Your reality is only an expression of your consciousness, right? Because we are only lenses in which consciousness views, you know, the real world through. You know, it's that the door is closed. On the other side of the door, in your mind, you know it's the dining room, right? But when you walk through it, then you see it, it's there, it's in existence. But when you walk away and you close the door, it's not there anymore. But, you know, it's like a video game saving space on its RAM, right? Until you interact with that part and then it shows up. Or however that technological, you know. But anyways, I think that we've gotten lost. And we've been looking to other people for the answer. And in a way, yes, that's right? But it's not in the way that you think. I think you need to just be true to yourself. And when you're looking for other people to the answer, it's to rebuild our communities. It's to provide support to those who need it. And to witness those that don't need it, right? Autonomy. Because if we're always doing for others when they should be able to do for themselves, we're not really helping them, are we? Yeah, I think that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, so I'll post again. I think I said what I needed to say. Okay. You guys have a good night. Bye.